But the first thing we're gonna start out with on this episode, and with that being said, is Roc Nation. Hey man, you know Roc Nation, man. You know what I'm saying? They blame everything on Roc Nation these days, right? They blame Shador Sanders going out there looking like trash. It's Roc Nation put him out there. Roc Nation. But today they announced something that can really change the music industry. So Roc Nation launched a new distribution platform with 85% royalties and no upfront cost with their distribution. What makes this launch specifically significant is, the no upfront cost part, which, for some people, they're going to look at that and say, damn, I'm broke. I ain't got no money. They're not asking for money. Let's roll with it. But then there's some people that are going to be like, okay, what do you got to give up, for me not giving you any money up front. So, just based on what you've read about this new thing that Roc Nation is about to launch, how do you feel about it? Do you feel like it's a potential scam? I don't want to say that, Roc Nation go after me. But would you say it sounds like something that's shaky for an artist? Or do you think this is perfect? This is what the game needs?
I mean, who cares what I have to say? Let's all listen to our resident independent artist correspondent named Russ. Okay, if you guys know Russ gonna let us know whether things are good or bad in the business.
Wait, Russell Westbrook?
No, just Russ.
Russell
no,
Wilson?
no, the original, just Russ, the guy who just.
Oh, just
yeah,
Russ.
Russ, man.
Just Russ.
I want to read a tweet from him because he gave a little bit of insight that I think is important before we get into what we about to discuss. He says, an 85-15 split to press quote unquote upload is madness, right? He says major labels take 15% distribution off the top too. So in other words, it seems like Roc Nation is doing very similar things to Roc Nation. And so essentially what he's getting at is, if you're an independent artist, what are you really getting out of this? Other than just simply saying you are working with Roc Nation, whereas I've highlighted other brands in the past, for example, like United Masters. If you guys are familiar with United Masters, I think they are probably the leader in this whole independent distribution space, because not only do they give you the 85 to 90% revenue split, they also partner with you to do like marketing campaigns, and that's kind of how they market their brand. And so people like Big X the Plug are big on, United Masters. I know NLE Choppa once made a killing off of United Masters. There's tons of artists who are nowhere near those guys' size who also are making a ton of money. But I say, it's so funny because every time the topic of signing or not signing comes up, you hear difference of opinions. You got people like JD saying, yo, what are you talking about, man? You might as well sign to a label because you can make all the money. But then you got other people who get it out the mud and who prefer that independent grind where they may not be making as much money. And so where do I stand on this? For me personally, man, I'm always going to the do what's best for you model. Like, genuinely, can you imagine if you are a struggling artist, somebody who's broke, has no money to your name, not one dime, you ain't got no ends, nothing, and you got a song that just popped out of the blue, and here come a label about to offer you 100 to 200, maybe 300, maybe even upwards of 500 grand to sign. Yes, it's predatory, and I would argue it's probably not a good idea, but I think that's such a tough decision to make when you really ain't got nothing to your name. And so I say all that to say, people like Russ can speak from a very confident place because he's already made it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Russ has made it. So of course he has his best hat on in terms of what makes the most sense business-wise. But if you're an artist who don't really have that song that made it, you're in a different position. And so all in all, bro, I think that like Roc Nation is doing nothing more than what labels have done. They're getting in the business of distribution. Welcome to the world of music promotion, Roc Nation, I guess.
It's funny. I had a great conversation about this in a barbershop a couple years ago. We were talking about Diddy and Bad Boy and how, there's certain artists, let me not put Diddy. It happens in the record industry all the time. Certain artists would sign these deals without actually reading the paperwork, the details that go into it, right? that was in the 90s. So I hope, number one, if you don't bring a lawyer to sign whatever deal, which I'm sure it's not even something that, a lawyer will be a part. It's probably like a click, user-friendly interface where you just click next, But, there's ChatGPT. Not saying that ChatGPT is something that every single thing that comes out of ChatGPT is valid and that you should just run with, but it can at least break down some of the verbiage, right? That, some of the paperwork would have, or some of the details that you don't see with this deal, break it down. Like, you can literally put this into your favorite AI freaking system, and it'll tell you whether or not it'll give an opinion on the pros and cons of what this deal is. We live in different times. And in these different times, if you're still getting gypped, that's on you, brother. It's on you. It kind of reminds me of car dealerships, right? A car dealer once told me, because, we all go to car dealerships, we all get scared, like as if we're going to get played by a car dealer. A car dealer once told me, he said, I can't do that anymore. The prices of the cars are online. It's not like the past where you had to go up there and ask them what's the price of this car, and you see these fake ass, prices that they have on the car. They can't do it anymore because they're all online. So this is a similar situation. If you're an artist and this sounds good to you and you did the research and you feel like it's a great opportunity, it's a gamble. If you feel like it's a gamble worth taking, go for it. But we can't feel sorry or too sorry for the artists that choose to take this, because all the analysis, the data, the places where you can get that data and analysis is out there. It is on you now. So we cannot no longer call these labels or people pariahs. You got to do the research. And that's all it comes down to. It's different times.
I like that you said that, man. Shout out to the homie Detroit YB, who came on a different iteration of our podcast, and he has a brand called Do Your Own Research, which to me is essentially what you just said, man. Do your own research, guys. Do what's right for you.
Shout out YB, bro.
Yeah, know what you getting yourself into, and keep it pushing that way. You know what I mean? Like, the days of saying I got, bro, you can't get that off, bro. We are living in the AI era, soon to be the quantum computing era. I don't want to hear anybody saying, brother, I ain't know. Go figure it out. You know what I mean?
Nah, hell no. There's too many things now for you to say you don't know or you got gypped. No.